has called out Lutyens' media hypocrisy on the FIR against The Wire. He has stated, I quote, "When the left lies, forges documents, manufactures #fake news on an industrial scale, slanders individuals and demeans India before the world, like The Wire has done, the vile perpetrators are innocent victims," says N. Ram, who cropped documents to peddle a fake story on Rafale. So senior government officer calls out Lutyens' media over the controversy surrounding the false allegations of The Wire. The Wire is now under the scanner as an FIR has been lodged by Amit Malviya over fake news, forged documents that were used to support that news. And now a senior government advisor has called out Lutyens' media over the entire issue. Republic has accessed the FIR copy that shows the allegations and the charges against senior editors of The Wire. And now a senior government advisor has called out Lutyens' media over the issue. So the Wire controversy escalates further as an FIR has been lodged against the web portal, the news portal. Now, a senior government advisor, Kanchan Gupta, has called out Lutyens' media hypocrisy on the FIR against The Wire. He has stated, and I quote, "When the left lies, forges documents, manufactures fake news on industrial scale, slanders individuals and demeans India before the world, like The Wire has done, the vile perpetrators are innocent victims," says N. Ram, who cropped documents to peddle a fake story on Rafale. And joining us now is our senior editor, Chawan Sen, to take us through this breaking news. Chawan, explain to us, a senior government officer now calling out Lutyens' media on their stand, which he calls hypocritical, on the FIR against The Wire.
Well, in fact, Rukma, there is a reason why this is being called a classic case of hypocrisy, and not just that, an exit route that was being given by the Lutyens to The Wire. Now, let's just put this out, the details that we have and why exactly this is being called a classic case of hypocrisy. Number one, it begins with multiple reports that were published by The Wire against the Bharatiya Janata Party leader Amit Malviya, and not just him, but also the party itself. Now, the story was not corroborated with any sort of technical evidence to begin with. These were allegations that were leveled or based on reports that their publication essentially claims that they had accessed with the help of their sources within Meta. It turns out that not due diligence wasn't really done to find out the authenticity of the very report that they relied on. It turns out that it was fabricated. In fact, Meta came up with a response to it. But despite that, we're given to understand another set of articles were published, which they once again claimed that these were internal data or internal reports of Meta that was basically leaked, and based on which they carried out another set of reports. It turns out that the very internal communication of Meta that they were relying on was also fabricated. Despite that, the articles were published, and for the longest time, it was available for the public to view. Now, not just that, the allegation that has now been leveled by Amit Malviya is that based on these reports that were published, The Wire then went to their readers seeking for donation. Money was basically collected on the basis of these reports that were published. It turns out that most of the stories that were essentially done was also picked up by the global media. There's largely an existence of a cabal which has picked up on stories like this without much due diligence being done. Western media had also picked it up. Now, with Wire themselves retracting from the stories, which they now say is that it does not match the reader's standards, and that is the reason why the reports were retracted. There is not a single reasoning that has been given by The Wire as to why exactly did they not bring on board technical experts, given the fact that they are not new to it? They've done stories in the past in which they have essentially claimed that there have been third-party verifications that have been done. But in this particular story, they chose not to do so. Now they say that the readers' standards did not match. There is no apology that has been tendered by the website as yet. In fact, Republic TV on multiple occasions have tried getting in touch with the founding editors of The Wire, not just them, but also the people's editor of The Wire. There have been no response really coming in. In fact, they say that we should be giving them the autonomy to decide as to when they would like to respond. But the fact of the matter is that, to a greater extent, this is essentially being done to try and propagate some sort of a narrative that the government in place has been trying to snoop on people, and the fact that the government has been targeting women journalists. That was a sweeping allegation that was essentially leveled with not much substantive reporting, or for that matter, any authentication that was essentially done.
Shravan, now that we are looking at an FIR that has been lodged, what next in the case? Can the founding editors be questioned by? And we're trying to get in more reactions to this breaking development. Joining us now on the phone line is N.S. Napinai, advocate of the Supreme Court and founder, Cyber Sathi. Mr. Napinai, many thanks for speaking with Republic. Your take on, what can be done now that an FIR has been lodged, the charges are of conspiracy, the charges are of forgery. Well, in that regard, can the people who are named in the FIR, can they be questioned by the authorities? What next?
In general, when you have a situation like this, depending on whether the police decide whether they want to do it as a preliminary inquiry or through a registration of FIR, they can initiate investigation. Now, in this case, an FIR appears to have been registered. Even that still just amounts to a preliminary investigation stage.